and he will be taking on a role that is still very critical and very essential to how we operate.
But first tonight, Officer Matthew Kenny's future following an internal investigation after the shooting death of Tony Robinson. In their internal review, the Madison Police Department says Officer Matthew Kenny did not violate department policy when he shot and killed Tony Robinson March 6th.
This comes 3 weeks after the Dane County DA also announced Officer Kenny would not face criminal charges. The Night Team's Matthew Simon tells us what this means for Kenny's future with the department. Matthew.
Michelle, Eric, in reality, Madison Police Chief Mike Koval says those 2 exonerations now mean Officer Kenny could one day again patrol the streets. It is a decision Kenny calls correct, while Robinson's mother feels left out once again without justice.
3 months later, like it's yesterday to me.
3 days until the 3-month mark since her son Tony Robinson died.
I'm not doing well. My whole family's not doing well.
Andrea Irwin says she is horrified to learn Police Chief Mike Koval has joined the DA in saying Officer Matt Kenny did not violate department policy when he used deadly force.
It wasn't justified, and my son was murdered.
Irwin says her family has proof Officer Kenny directly disobeyed an order not to enter the Willie Street home.
Because I absolutely know if backup would have been there with him, he wouldn't have killed my son.
But Koval says that order was never given.
The fact that he's done nothing wrong in the eyes of the law or in the eyes of the department in terms of the way he comported himself on March 6th.
And while Kenny will be back on the job, the chief says to give the community healing time, he will be a training officer, including the Mounted Patrol Unit.
He wants to get back on the horse sooner rather than later.
While there is no time frame, if Kenny's able to get a department psychiatrist and other staff to sign off, he could eventually be back on the street.
Our plan is to work with the Madison Police Department and transition him back into police service and eventually patrol.
While Kenny's attorney, Jim Palmer, says that's the final goal, he also has not lost sight how sensitive this time is right now.
It's not lost on us, and it hasn't been throughout this entire process, that a family really has suffered a tragic loss. But we do take some consolation in the fact that this matter has been thoroughly investigated.
This statement today, as I read it, does not promote transparency.
But NAACP President Greg Jones, speaking on the heels of the African American Council of Churches calling for Kenny's resignation, says the lack of a complete report is problematic.
Which is not going to do a lot to build trust among the community, particularly communities of color.
I don't think there are any reasons to fear for Officer Kenny being back on the street, and that is the goal one day. Obviously, that will take some time.
He is a viable member of the Madison Police Department, full faith and credit.
I'm horrified. Matt Kenny has now killed not 1 but 2 people, and I don't think that he should have a gun in his hand.
Well, in addition to the Robinson case, Officer Kenny was exonerated in 2007 when he shot and killed Ronald Brandon, who refused to drop what appeared to officers to be a gun. MPD gave Kenny an award in that case. Kenny's attorney says his client now looks forward to continuing to serve the city. Robinson's mother, meantime, says the family is still deciding if they will sue the department, while her lawyer continues to review case documents.
All right, Matthew Simon reporting live for us tonight in our news center. Matthew, thank you.